Okay, what we have here is the three Mormons, which I've highlighted to you guys before. And they're going to give the definition of the word cult. And of course, they're trying to cover their own backsides. And what they're doing is giving the atheist secular world their definitions of what a cult is. But they give one definition that it says Christianity is pointing its finger at other religions and calling all of those cults. That's the correct one. I don't care what the secular world says. I want to know what the Bible and Scripture say about who is a believer upon Jesus and who is not. And anyone who is not is a cult. Now let's listen to some of the stuff that they talk about. And I must warn you, these people are juvenile in their understanding of life, juvenile in their understanding of scriptures, juvenile in their understanding and anything to do about heaven. Because they're taking the worldview that, 90% of the world's population from the beginning is going to be saved. They're going to be in one of three positions of heaven. Now, if you have that worldview, then that means there's no hell that's really going to be something to be feared. In contradiction to Jesus when he says, you're condemned if you don't believe in me. Period. You've never left your condemnation. Which is exactly the opposite. That means the vast majority, 90% of the world's population from the beginning of history is going to go to hell because they refuse to believe. Now let's listen to what these guys talk about.
From the internet, so you know they're accurate.
Yes.
A list of definitions of what a cult is. So we're going to go through them. And
we haven't read these yet.
We're going to find out if we're a cult. So,
By the way, the Kali Ma thing is an Indiana Jones reference. It's not, we don't do that.
I have an Indian friend. She speaks Punjabi. And apparently that's what it means.
Well.
Okay,
anyway,
let's just start.
Fun
So
fact.
we're just going to start with the first definition of a cult that is on here. So a cult is a system of religious veneration and devotion directed toward a particular figure or object.
So
I mean, yes, we are.
As long as that particular figure is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
that's literally any religion. Muslims are a cult because of Muhammad.
See, that's literally any religion, so we're not any different than anyone else. That's because they're taking it from the secular worldview.
Christians are a cult because of Jesus. Hindus are a cult because of Krishna. That's dumb. Sorry, that's not dumb.
I didn't know that is how people define cult. I thought a cult was like
this
scary.
is the textbook scholarly definitions of cult. That's
so then if we're a cult, any religion is, not just us.
So I guess what people get.
So see now, anybody can be a cult. No, that they're saying okay now, your Christianity is also a cult. Because, by their definition of them saying they have the restored gospel, then that means the gospel for 1900 years has been incorrect until Joseph Smith came along and restored it. So by their own definitions, they're taking definitions from the world and trying to use it to say, see, everybody's a cult. Not just us, everybody.
Hung up on is they think that we are directly devoted towards Joseph Smith. I think is probably the main thing.
But it's not.
I mean, we belong to the...
No, you're a cult because you've given yourselves over to a false Jesus. A Jesus that came out of a union between God the Father and God the Mother. Some kind of form of sexual union. That's only way you procreate. And that Jesus is the first created spirit being for this world. That means he has a definite start date, which means he is not the biblical Jesus.
Church of Jesus Christ. So hopefully people think that he's kind of the focus of our church.
But see, now they say, just because we have Jesus Christ the title of our church. Well, anybody can say that. That doesn't mean you have the Jesus Christ. You've made up a completely different version from what the Bible has. The biblical Jesus is so different from the Mormon Jesus that they are actually mutually exclusive. One cannot exist in place of the other because the Mormon Jesus is just a spirit-created being that got a body that evolved into a god. And God the Father was once a human that evolved into a god.
If you think that we worship Joseph Smith, you probably just don't know a lot about our religion, and that's okay, because I know...
We're still a cult, according to that definition.
Yeah.
People think that admiration for a particular person or thing. Okay, so this one is interesting. Obviously, it's based on opinion again, because whether or not it's misplaced is an opinion.
Or excessive.
So according to this definition, I'd say we're probably not a cult, because I don't think that our admiration for Christ is misplaced at all.
I don't think so.
Do you think it's excessive, though?
I don't think it's excessive. I think it's incessive. Yeah, so we're still a cult, and so is everybody else.
See?
Based off
See?
of that.
According to the world's definitions, we're a cult and so are you. So we're all... They're taking the moral authority, the 100% moral truth, and rejecting it. Even though they're claiming to accept it. That 100% truth that is the Bible, that is the real Jesus, that is the biblical Jesus, is just one of many. You know, there's many gods.
That one.
That's really similar to the other one.
It's pretty similar to the other ones. Next, great devotion to a person, idea, object, movement, or work.
So like Harry Potter fans. They're all in a cult.
Movement. I just think of poop. Great devotion to a poop.
Oh my gosh.
Bowel movement.
I
think that's pretty funny.
But anyone
Quick
who's
is going.
greatly devoted, like I know a lot of people who are greatly devoted to like Star Wars. It says like such as a film or book.
Well, it means they're the cultists of George Lucas, I guess.
Okay, Kwaku, seriously? My religion is Mormonism - Star Wars.
See, I mean
anymore,
that
not
makes
Disney.
not just us a cult though. You know, like this is very general.
What does cult come from? Does it come from cult?
Well, anyway, you got my understanding now. I left lots of comments on this video. I would like to have some of my brothers and sisters show up. You know, leave some comments for these guys to understand and try to read and understand, to let them know that yes, they are a cult, and no, they are not Christian. They deny everything that is Christianity. All right, bye.